What is going on? Just got back from my monthly feed run. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. 2 days ago, it was 106. Today, it is 73. 73 degrees. It is absolutely beautiful. Goats are out, chickens are out, dog is out. Truck is full of feed, my monthly feed. I go about once a month, pick up pretty much just what I need, roughly, to get us through pretty much 30 days for the most part. Now, we've gone through a lot less feed lately with the goats in the trees, but they are starting to wind down. The amount of brush and debris that's in their little wooded paddock area is darn near gone. And I'm getting really, really close to moving them to another wooded pasture. And I think the goats heard me pull up. I can hear them screaming at me right now. We're gonna run up, grab the side-by-side, back up to the truck. We're going to load all our grain up. Quick pumpkin. I am not seeing any actual pumpkins yet. I feel like last year around this time, or at least this time of from the moment we planted seeds and then the span of time, I felt like we already had pumpkins growing. Now this year I did something a little bit different. I didn't mulch. Last year I used all the hay and poop from the goats as I moved them around because they were strictly on pasture. And every time I moved them, there was always an abundance of hay on the ground and poop, and I would rake it and I filled the entire bed of those pumpkins, all with that. So there was zero grass, zero weeds, 100% only pumpkins growing. And I feel like now there's grass, there's some weeds popping up in there, and I think it's starting to starve the plants of the nutrients they need to really thrive. So I'm thinking that's what's going on. But we still got a couple months till October. Hopefully we'll see some pumpkins by then. And along with the grain, I also picked up, I found some dog treats. I'm always trying to mix it up a little bit between natural like food, like the steak and the chicken and stuff that we cook, and then a little mixture of, some of the store-bought stuff too. Just to keep her busy, keep her wanting to, follow the treats. When I stick with something for too long, she just starts to ignore it. Seems like she doesn't care anymore. So we'll try this out. I think they are Purina Filet Mignon flavor. So basically likes the steak. While we're out, I'm also going to drop off, got a salt block for the deers. What's funny is this shed was originally put together and put up because I was going to turn it into a giant chicken coop, and I was going to have this giant chicken compound thing over here. And then just times changed, things changed. And then now it's basically hay storage, which it works great for hay storage. I think I fit like 38 bales of hay in here, plus a lot of my feed. So it's actually working really slick as kind of my go-to hay and grain shed, I guess. It actually worked out pretty slick because actually my son, my oldest son, he actually was able to get up in here, pull the bags down, and actually pull a bag all the way to the goat. So he's getting it figured out. I still had one bag of chicken feed, which they also seem to be eating less too, because now I'm moving them around probably a little bit more often, and just the amount of grass and bugs and clover, they're just thriving. And then like you've seen, I always feed them all our scraps from the house. They're getting tons and tons of food. So they're really not going through a whole lot of grain. All right, that's the last of it. Well, I think now I'm gonna run up to the barn. I need to grab a sledgehammer. That way I can break up that salt block. I like to break it up into smaller chunks. I got a couple locations I usually place the blocks. We'll go tackle that now. We've also been getting a bunch of tomatoes lately. Look at all that. It is just plumb full of tomatoes. Got some big ones in there, starting to turn. Oh, there's some good ones. Whoa, those are so good. There we go. Now the goats are really mad because I just drove past them and then stopped. I didn't have any treats for them. But we're gonna zip around here, take you to my first spot. Whoa, look at that cobweb. Wow. We're gonna zip in here. I've got a mineral site that I've been using for probably like, geez, 7 years maybe. And it all just started randomly. I threw like a salt block out one time for some deer. There was like a mineral block, kind of help with development. And it rained, it poured, and then it got eaten up pretty good. But then they came back and they kept like pawing at the ground and digging it up and just destroyed the ground and created this giant hole. And I've just been using it ever since. There it is right there. I think the first time I placed a block out here, it was one of those like mineral, or no, it was a trophy rock. It was a trophy rock. So it was one of those that's kind of like sold for deer. Tractor Supply had them on sale for like, it was like $4 per block. And normally they're like 20 or 21 bucks. So I bought a few of them and that's what I threw out here and they loved it. And that's what tore it up. Now I've put white salt blocks out here before and they've done really good too. But this is a trace mineral block. So it's not as dense. And it's kind of crumbly. It's kind of weird. You know, if you kick or pick at it, it seems like it falls apart a little bit. But they don't like it at all. Basically, this is just destroyed right now because mostly rain and storms and whatnot. But yeah, you can see how it just kind of falls apart. That's what's going on here. But you can see though, they're still around doing their thing. But so I'm gonna go ahead and drop part of this white salt block right there on top of this and let them have at it. And I got camera up right there. Now I can't have the camera pointing right at the block site because I'll end up with like 5,000 videos and it's just a little ridiculous because it's the same deer over and over again. So I point it down the trail because you're still gonna catch them as they come in and out doing their thing. So what I do is whole block, I'll smack it a few times and see if I can break it into a few pieces like that. There we go. It kind of just crumbles it up nice. Plus I'll take a couple of these blocks, actually probably just that one block with me. Yeah, it just kind of exposes it. I don't know. But I want to take this now to the top side of the ravine, and then I want to head to the northern point and share my idea with you all. And we're going up that hill right there. We're gonna throw a 4-wheel drive. The camera's pretty much level right now, so you can kind of see the angle we're at here. It's pretty gnarly. Luckily, the side-by-side's engine is under my seat and it's low to the ground, so this climbs hills like that pretty darn nicely. So we are at my food plot. The food plot is just right there. Then we got this giant habitat pile. This is actually where I have been having turkeys hanging out. Bobcat roams around here all the time, tons of rabbit. I mean, there's tons of stuff going on right here. And I'm gonna dump this salt block right over there too. My next project probably needs to be get out here with the tractor and clear this out of here. We had a tree fall down last year during one of the big storms, and this has kind of been one of my last priorities. I don't know, it's kind of frustrating because I tilled this entire thing up. I limed it, I seeded it. I mean, I did everything. I did the soil test, everything. And then we had this huge storm, trees fell down. I actually cleared another one out of here. And I just kind of gave up. I was just like, I am done. And then the first year, the clover, like usual, it doesn't grow all that great. It's always kind of minimal here and there. This year, before the weeds kicked in, I had clover thick. It was super, super thick. Now the weeds have taken over a little bit. Plus it's been extremely hot, no moisture, no rain. And now this tree is in here. I gotta get this cleared out of here. We got a little funnel on the end of it, so it works good where the deer kind of funnel around it. I mowed a trail around the outside of the plot itself too. So they've been using the trail a lot to kind of mosey around all this. But I get a lot of action down in here, and I typically stick a block here. And here's the rest of that other block. This is that trace mineral that they just don't like. I don't know, it's sweet, it's like molassesy, but I mean, the whole thing is laying right here. But we'll leave that. All right, now we're headed down to pretty much the northern side of the property, on the top side of my ravine. I got this spot. I think it was like 3 years ago. It might have been in October. I took my son camping back here. It was a little place that I don't even think it was mowed. It was one of those things where we literally packed up the side-by-side and the trailer. And we drove out here, and there was snow on the ground. It was winter, it was cold. And I just found a somewhat flat spot in all the brush and the crud. Backed up, set up camp, made fire, just me and him. And it was a great time. Well, I love backpacking. I love camping. My kids enjoy it. They think it's fun. And how fun would it be to have a dedicated campsite, campground, something like that on our own property that we could just hike to whenever we wanted to, throw everything in the side-by-side whenever we wanted to. I mean, just disappear into our back woods, lawn, whatever you want to call it, and camp for the night. Have a little fire pit and things like that. So after that camping trip, I mow around the entire property. That's what I'm on right now. I'm on my trail. Well, I came back to the spot where I left the trail and headed in to that winter camp spot, and I mowed down to it. I cleared out some brush and started mowing and kind of creating a nice opening, and it's actually looking really good. And that's actually where I stuck one of my trail cameras at, and we're having some good luck. We're actually turning off the main trail now into it, right down in here. And it's just nice and flat. So this is where we camped at. We put the tent right there. There's actually a little hole. I don't know, you can kind of see it right there. We actually built a fire in that thing. and the tent was just over here. And we hung out. And there's the edge of the ravine. You can actually see down all the way down there. But I have this entire area right here. So all this, there's a big dip back here. See, there's the trail camera, because I wanted to catch that, because there's a game trail that cuts through there. And there's a finger of the ravine that kind of dips down and goes that way. And there's a game trail that comes out, so I catch a lot of good stuff there. Big old hole there, I don't know what that is from, but all this tall grass here is all flat all the way that way. And there's only like, that's a dead tree, there's some other brush here. But I thought if I brought the tractor up here, cleared this out, it's its own little mini campground for our backyard. So that is my idea, that is the plan. I think that I'm gonna try to do that, because it's not gonna take a whole lot of work, because the tractor, the grapple, I mean, I can really just come in here and just bulldoze, push things back. And it's set off far enough from the trail. There's the trail coming off the main one. So the trail is running that way. So I mean, unless you look back this way, you miss this whole thing. And these main big trees, I'm gonna leave up. I'm not taking none of those down. But I'll push the brush up against there, and this whole area will be clear, and it's pretty flat. That's the best part. So we can actually have tents up here, plus with these few trees. I love hammock camping, and we can hang up hammocks out here, and there's just tons and tons of room. And actually what I did is, so I mowed that area, came around here, and then I exited over here. So it's kind of like a giant horseshoe, and then the main trail keeps going. So I got like an in and an out, and just a lot of stuff in between. There's an old fence line. Right, I don't know if you see that post right there. Right there's an old fence line that kind of runs right there too. So I'll probably push the brush to that point, and it's gonna clear all of this out and gain us a lot of room. And then we just have the ravine that at one point in time had a natural spring that was running through it. And I did a video on it where I actually found the spring, I think it was this last winter, that it was still wet at the very top. It was still getting spring water there. It's just not enough to actually flow, and it was soaking in. Eventually, I'd like to clear that out, and we'd have a trickling spring running down below us, have a campground up here, can hang out, have a good old fun time. So that is my idea, and it's not even an idea anymore, it's a plan. I'm going to make this happen. Very minimal amount of work, and we're gonna have ourselves a backyard, deep woods, family campground on our property. We can have friends, family over, enjoy it, take in nature, take in this peacefulness. Like right now, it is just dead quiet, and I absolutely love it. It's gonna be a perfect campground for us to enjoy. But we're gonna call today's video good. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see y'all next time. Later.